now to a story you'll only see here on News 5 Today as we get ready to welcome in live U.S. Senator Cory Gardner to the show.
Yeah, Senator Gardner has actually been very busy these last few weeks, especially pitching the president's new tax reform plan.
The senator joins us live right now from D.C. Good morning, Senator Gardner. How are you?
Good morning.
Glad
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Let's jump in with the tax reform. I know you've said that your goal is to keep the Colorado people, our interests, front and center as this debate moves forward. How does that square in your view with what we've already heard from the president about what he wants to see in tax reform?
Well, I think in tax reform, the principle that we have to keep front and center is that hardworking families in Colorado want to keep more of their hardworking dollars and their hard-earned dollars in their own pocket. And that's exactly what this tax relief effort is about. For the past several years, American families have seen their wages stay stagnant, perhaps even gone down. And I think everybody wants to actually be better off tomorrow than they were 4 years ago. And with tax relief, with reforms making our code simpler, fairer, easier to understand, taking out the burdens of a complicated system, we can actually make sure that families keep more of their hard-earned dollars in their own pockets, spending the way they want to, instead of Washington, D.C.
Just one quick follow-up. You mentioned simplifying. Would that also include simplifying the filing process that is so complex?
It is. It's trying to figure out how we can make it as easy as possible. In fact, doubling the standard deduction. So one of the ideas is you double the standard deduction. So if you're earning $24,000, you'd have basically a zero tax bracket that you would be in. So no taxes, enhancing the child tax credit. These are opportunities for the American people to actually have a better way to file taxes, a simpler way to file taxes, and to keep more of their own dollars. Look, the United States spends every year just to comply with taxes, to fill out the tax codes, the entire economic output of New Zealand every year is what we spend to fill out our tax codes. It's simply too complex, too cumbersome, and we can do better.
All right, I do want to switch it up a little bit. We put it out there to our viewers that we were going to be talking to you live this morning. A lot of people excited. Obviously, the huge massacre across Las Vegas, and right now folks are wondering about gun control. Where is Washington's stance on that right now?
Well, what happened in Las Vegas was a horrible tragedy, and the individual who carried out this terrible act, obviously was a tormented person, an evil act, and we can't stand for that. Colorado Springs has been touched by evil, and we can't stand for that. We have to make sure that we're reaching out to individuals before they commit these kinds of actions, horrible acts, and figure out how to stop them before they occur. I know there's a tendency by some to try to immediately jump into the debate over gun control. We have constitutional rights that we have to make sure that we protect, and I don't believe that that's the right answer. But we have to look into the facts, we have to get to the facts, and we have to understand exactly what happened here so that we can make better decisions and better opportunities to prevent this kind of thing from ever happening again.
Do you think this is the time to have that discussion about stricter gun laws or what we can do to prevent these things from happening, or do you think it's better to let the dust settle a little bit before we do talk about that?
Well, again, let's get the facts. Let's find out exactly what happened. Let's have a discussion about this. But I don't believe that gun control is the solution. I don't believe trampling on constitutional rights is the right answer. I believe in the Constitution, but we have to make sure that we're protecting the rights of every American. But let's have a discussion about what we can do to prevent this kind of thing from happening. Let's make sure that that's not about Republicans or Democrats. It's not about the left versus the right. But it's about us as Americans who worry about the safety and security of our families. Let's do it in a way that we can be proud of without taking away rights from innocent American people.
Finally, Senator, I want to ask you about North Korea. Certainly that's an issue that remains very high on the kind of the danger list, if you will, but it's kind of faded over the last few weeks or the last few days because of the headlines. But can you talk about sanctions and efforts diplomatic-wise that you'd still like to see pushed for regarding North Korea?
Well, Admiral Gortney, who was in charge of Northcom just a few years ago, right there in Colorado Springs, has said that the situation on the Korean Peninsula is at its most unstable point since 1953. That's when the armistice between the two North-South Korea were signed, the United States signed, excuse me. What we've got to do is make sure that we're increasing the economic and diplomatic pressure on North Korea and those who are enabling the regime. There are thousands of businesses around the globe, particularly in China, that are enabling the North Korean regime, doing business with North North Korea, providing them with the hard currency they need to proliferate nuclear weapons and to maintain and build out their ballistic missile program. We've got to ramp up that pressure so that they no longer have access to those businesses, to those hard currencies, those reserves. We've got a long way to go on the diplomatic runway before any other kind of option should be explored with North Korea. Our number one goal must and always will be peaceful denuclearization of the North Korean regime, but we've got a long ways to go before we actually put enough pressure on them to get that job done.